Greetings and salutations, friends. This time, victory will be mine. I hope. God, I got stressed last time. This is a difficult gosh darn campaign. It really is. It really is. You gotta deal with some serious supply shortages here and there, and I've been a pinch disappointed by my troll warren allies not having been particularly helpful so far. But that may all now finally come to a change. As I have been thinking, yes, I have been suffering ridiculous casualties. This is true. However, if I've been suffering massive casualties, can you imagine the kind of damage that has been inflicted on the enemy? And yes, it's been pretty harsh on the NCR as well. 193,000 casualties so far for the NCR. So, I'm thinking that if I'm running low on manpower, they're probably running pretty low as well. And I'm happy to say that Operation Sitzkrieg, Sit on My Ass Warfare, has been very successful. I actually have a surplus of manpower for the first time in like 2 years, and I have an air force. Been a very long time since I've had an air force. And I intend to utilize it by first and foremost taking care of Area 51. I need to start knocking enemies out of the running here before they keep building more fucking units. But by my estimations, the manpower reserves of the NCR really should be starting to run pretty dry at this point. At least that is my hope. Let's see. 34k. Okay, that's still a fair old bit, but considering they were once at 250,000 manpower, I nevertheless maintain that there's been a rather serious fall, and I really shouldn't have been wasting these guys doing nothing for these countless years. You really should just be, you know, dealing with resistance and stuff. Also, why are these regions upset all of a sudden? A sporadic outpost too little to keep them quiescent? Probably is, isn't it? Oh, that's a bit upsetting. Also, I've been thinking of switching back to using dudes for this, because I've been thinking, as much sense as it seems to make to utilize light robots for policing duties, a light robot takes 90 manpower, whereas a suppression squad takes 115 manpower. But the suppression is 19.8 contra 11. So almost twice as much. So I am probably actually suppressing more with less manpower using the riot squads than I am using the robots. Because this is one of the things I learned years and years ago, but clearly fucking forgot here. That I learned with Japan. In fact, I should be using mobile enforcers, to be honest with you. There's no reason why not. I have loads of motorized vehicles all over the place, and I don't have any real shortage of energy either. I should be using motorized enforcers. This was a point I learned and clearly forgot about many years ago, namely that having a higher suppression value and a higher hardness value is a lot lot more valuable for suppression than having more dudes for suppression. And indeed, having a higher suppression means you need fewer units and so need less manpower. Again, something that I have sadly forgotten about. So I am going to put my theory to the test and switch them over to the new riotous squads instead. I really should have researched the goddamn suppression squads as well, but Orchigador becomes a member, thank you very much, sir. And Gaming Sentinel for 7 Canadian, thank you, sir. Hey, Arch, after this campaign is done, you should check out the Bone Cohort submod on some of the coolest Heart of Iron 4 mods I've played. Bone Cohort submod. I don't think I've heard of it. So, right. The plan will be to march the super mutants forward, the behemoths. And I wish I had some motorized shit. To take this area, hold these 3 provinces, and probably not advance into New Vegas, because it would extend my front line. Hopefully luring away reinforcements so I can finally deal with the San Francisco Brotherhood. Right, I'm going to need more riot gear soon, so I'm just going to put that in there. I do not need more dogs. At no point do I need more dogs. Utterly irrelevant for me to have more dogs. And I do have some strategic bombers now, which I really should be using, but I don't have for a browser. Yeah. Bone Core Horse, apparently it's supposed to get a big update soon. You know, I'll take a note of that, so I'll check it out afterwards. Currently, we have one funding goal for a Two Sisters, or Two Mothers playthrough. And we might be doing that as well. And we've got a game for the Enclave already funded. And I also need to play Equestria at War again for the Nightmare Moon. There you go. The Nightmare Moon playthrough. Right. We've got a whole heaping fucking heck of a lot of behemoths. And we've got artillery support, which I should probably assign to the units, actually. Here you go. You may have 2 artillery cannons assigned to you. The rest will be scattered out through my armies. They're sort of short range, these howitzers. But I'm sure they'll be helpful wherever they end up. Right, super mutants. Since the primary goal of this is going to be to deal with Area 51. Do behemoths. As long as Area 51 can be dealt with, that is going to save me an incredible amount of manpower. Right. Spreading the attacking force a pinch thin here, but still hoping that'll be probably enough. Now, 2 of you stay behind. Rest of you, continue advancing.
Hello, sir.
Go on, little mutants. There's still a lot of bad guys in between you and victory. Right. Mass fucking air power.
Can I sell your feet?
Actually, I'm gonna pop the intel as well. All the buffs. All the buffs. I'm gonna be really upset if this fails. Charles the Beagle, update on the Irish Children's Hospital in Dublin. It's due to start treating patients in June 2026. Also, they've bought a mass tandem spectrometer for the hospital after the construction. Turns out it's too big for the lab. Oh god, yeah, look, oh god. Oh yeah, look at, oh yes. Oh, look at that. Yes. Now that is what we are talking about. Just fucking barrel through, my boys. Yes. That is what we are talking about. Of course it's too big for the lab. You know, I don't even necessarily blame them. Can you imagine planning out an entire hospital? Like, good God, that must be a ridiculous quantity of specialized equipment and stuff. Making sure all of the rooms are the correct size, everything is up to spec, making sure that you've got the right, you know, electricity outputs everywhere, etc. I'm sure that is an awful, 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 awful job, but at the same time, they've also been planning that hospital for about 3 decades, so I don't know how much sympathy they really deserve, technically speaking. And as mentioned previously, Saga Rooney is still out with a bad case of the I can't read a calendar because I'm English. But he is presumably going to be back next week, so that'll be good. God, I wish I had some motorized troops. Fuck, if I had some decent motorized troops, I could capture so many enemy divisions here, but well, I don't, so it is what it is. Now that was an excellent offensive. That was an excellent offensive. Cut through them like a fucking knife through butter. Barely any enemy units actually captured, mind you, which is hardly ideal, but Christ, I am fucking cutting through them. Absolute fucking slaughter. Come on, behemoths. God, I wish I had some trucks. Holy moly, how I wish I had some fucking trucks. Alright. Begin closing that region off, and that sector area 51 surrendered, and I mean, I captured some units, so not the worst thing ever, not the worst thing ever. Right, cancel that offensive plan so that my units don't start wandering about randomly with no aim, sense, or purpose. The brilliance of fucking air power, I tell you. The DCV Titan, Sagan is out with a case of the British. He is indeed. The British have long struggled with the concept of time. And Sargon is but a Brit at the end of the day. Even though he does far better at it than most British. That was quite lovely. I am genuinely tempted now to just continue the offensive forward to see if I can just maddeningly break through, but no, I don't really have the dudes behind this to do that, so do not resist the base impulse to simply charge forward like a screaming fucking troll. It is a base impulse for a reason. Resist it. Fortify. Settle in. Become unshiftable. That was a very good bit of damage done, though. I think that was another like 10,000 casualties. Quite nice. Sandom, hey Arch, update on that whole Buffalo school system scandal. The guy who tried to kidnap those 2 kids have been arrested and charged for attempted kidnapping. Unsubscribed did an update on the whole situation last week. Add to any fund you choose, Arch. Oh, any fund of my choosing. Friendship with benefits has stagnated. Understandably so. I'll add it to the Witcher fund, actually. I think. Okay, brilliant. Well, that worked out a lot better than I had anticipated. Again, a very large portion of me wants to just... Oh my god. Have you gotten new allies? 2 divisions with blue icons. Who the fuck are these? Have you gotten more allies? How? You have Eagle Rock. Sweet Jesus. Every time I think I've killed them. Every fucking time. Right. Never mind. Right. Well, I've got these 4 divisions of Supermutant troops sent to me by the Troll Warrants. I think they're probably going to be shifted over here.
Haven't had a decent meal in weeks.
Now, we're going to need to make sure that there's a decent number of defending troops.
Hello, sir.
4 divisions. Ought to be more than enough.
What's up?
And as soon as we are able, extract the behemoths, which are getting very, very veteran now. Very, very veteran now. From the front. Right, this line has been thinned significantly. I think it's time we have another go.
Hey.
Right, that should be more than ample
Sir?
defenses. It's
Hello?
back to the Western Front, lads. Huh? What are you running away from, you little silly savages? But this time it'll work out better. This time, I promise you, will not be faced with ignominious defeat. By the master wings of my fucking aircraft, it shall be so. They still do have some shit in the air. Okay, we can bring over the majority of our fighters if I have anywhere to base them from. I do, it's fine.
Service guarantees citizenship.
My air forces, too, are extremely veteran at this point. It's probably the San Francisco jet fighters, aren't they? Yeah, the enemy has jets now. Oh, God. They can attack me from 3 regions there. Okay. If that's the case, we need to reevaluate the front line a bit. No, that's just as bad. In fact, I think that might actually be worse. Yep, because that can be attacked from 3 regions as well. I'm gonna need more stuff down there, aren't I?
Haven't had a decent meal in weeks.
Oh, but I really don't want to.
Sir.
Fine, send the Troll Warren reinforcements. Yeah, see, getting attacked from 3 regions is a bit of a nightmare, because it means that you are going to suffer absolutely enormous fucking combat malices. But going any of the other places seems to be equally awful, so... We'll just have to make sure that we're rushing fortifications as much as possible. I still can't penetrate those fucking tanks' armor, which is rather upsetting. I've got rocket launchers and everything now. I've got pretty much top-of-the-line anti-tank weapons. I might need to consider giving... Oh, I don't have the manpower for that.
What's up?
To that. Right, that surely should fucking hold, right? And remember to rebuild all of that, because it got cancelled, because I foolishly moved out of it. There you go. Right, that should bloody hold. Sendum, does Arch make kibble for army from Californians? Worse than kibbles. I guarantee you, once I capture the San Francisco Brotherhood, I will ritualistically rape their women and children. There's no other possible outcome. If it weren't for them, this war would be over already. Yet they had to get fucking involved and make all of this a lot more complicated. A lot more complicated. Resistance suppression. It's the best I've got right now. Right, behemoths. Behemoths are ready. Okay, I need that, and that river crossing. Do I have enough behemoths to take all 3 simultaneously? I believe I do. Four behemoths there. Three behemoths there. 3 behemoths there. Right, you as well. Heavy triremes. Yay. I can finally have a navy. Charles the Beagle, 2018. Irish government brought an industrial printer for €2 million. It was never used as it is too big for the room. No one checked the measurements. Well, that's government, isn't it? Unironically, that is government. There was even, you know, a case that's almost worse, in my opinion. There was, I believe, at NASA years ago. They bought some specialized equipment from the Goemons, and they gave the Goemons the, you know, specifications. It needs to be this large, this wide, etc. Because at least NASA were like, okay, we need to make sure this shit actually fits on the space shuttle. Otherwise, it's rather pointless. However, they forget that the Americans use retard measurements, even as the entirety of the rest of the world uses normal measurements. And so they ordered the specialized equipment in inches, and whereas the Germans, of course, were making it in centimeters, like normal, decent, respectable human beings. You would be surprised how many such fuck-ups there are. It's because, you see, there's no solving it. Like, that's the big problem. There's no fixing like individual retard mistakes, no matter how many people you put on it. It's one of those seemingly unavoidable constants of humanity, where even if you have like 1,000 supervisors that go through everything in triple, quadruple, and femtumple check, you will eventually hit a saturation point where the various overseers will simply assume that the other overseers have done a good enough job and just kind of sign off on it. This is why, by the way, like, the mass quality checks that many, like, governments in particular do, is frankly completely and utterly pointless, in my opinion. We have this system in Norway where, if you earn over a certain amount of money, like your business earns over a certain amount of money, then you need to get a, what is the English word? Revisor? Revisor is the Norwegian word, which is basically the job of this person is to go over the work that your accountant has already done, because you're already legally required to have an accountant check your finances, and then this person will simply check the work that the accountant has already done. That is all they do, and this is required by law that you do this. And the real kicker is that this person who you are legally required that must go over your stuff, if they make a mistake, they are in no way guilty or responsible for the mistake they made, making the entire system, again, utterly pointless because there is no accountability. Even if an error is made by the supposed trained professionals, they have no responsibility for any errors. It is such a ridiculous fucking system. I hate it so much. I cannot describe how much I despise this system, because you're literally required to pay professionals ass loads of money to check something that you have already done, that you're already required to have done, and you can't even then, once they've checked it, go, well, listen, I did all of the checks just like you told me to. If there's an error, it's not my fault.
Hey there.
You still can't say that. I fucking hate bureaucracy. I fucking hate bureaucracy so much. I fucking hate bureaucracy so much. God, I hate it. I fucking despise it. I cannot get over how much I hate it. Oh. Right, go my minions. Pulse weapons. Also, I realized I'd played this entire game without upgrading my Supermutants, which upset me quite a fucking lot, I will be honest. As I didn't know you could upgrade your Supermutants. Right, Supermutants with fucking pulse energy plasma weapons. That should be about the single scariest thing in human fucking history, I'd imagine. Yes, they're 5 times your size, they're 60 times your strength, they're nigh invulnerable, they eat bullets for fucking breakfast. Oh, and by the way, they use plasma weaponry. I feel like whatever the desertion rate for the NCR is, it's nowhere near as high as it should be. No matter what the desertion rate is, it should be significantly higher.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Right.
Hey.
Right. Initial frontline breaches have been made. Now all that is required is the continuation of forward momentum. Spoiling attacks. Keep the front line static as the behemoths smash their way through. This is looking very promising. We're already creating secondary surrounds here and there. They're trying to get as many of their troops out as they can. Understandable. Keep launching the spoiling attacks to make it difficult. I want as much as humanly possible of their troops to be stuck on the other bank. There we are. Right, before they get an opportunity to reorganize. All right. Fucking behemoths and their terrible organization retention. Right, if they want to send reinforcements into this pocket, I am happy to let them. Yes, yes. Yeah, pay off the bandits. I can't afford to deal with them right now. Let me just make sure. Yeah, nothing bad's happening over there. Hexy, when did the Germans land on the moon? I don't know. Probably a while ago. Sandum, if a screw up like you described with NASA happened on Kree, what would happen to the administrative member? Would it be fired or made into a servitor? Nothing would happen. That's the problem. The larger the bureaucracy becomes, the less accountability there is as well. Right, they've probably sent in as many dudes as they're likely to send in there. Get the behemoths marching in again. We need to close that off. Alright, that was not too bad at all. A decent amount of surrounds there. Spoiling attacks. Do not let them withdraw. This is my bounty, and I shall fucking keep it.
What's up?
There we are.
Sir?
There we are. Nice. San Francisco chapter has finally paid for their countless crimes against supermutant kind. Sandy, would orcs like fighting your supermutant's army? I imagine they probably actually to a degree would, yes. I mean, it would be a nice challenge for them. Oh, they still have so many fighters. I am shooting them down at a rate that is that should frankly be illegal, and yet still somehow managed to get more. That was a huge chunk of the San Francisco chapter's army right there. And another 10,000 Californian casualties. Now all I gotta do is get across the fucking river. How hard could it be? How hard could it be indeed? In fact, I mean... Fuck it, this spot is already a little undefended.
What's up?
I am going to be placing so many fucking units into such a fucking tiny area.
Sir?
This is going to be a logistician's fucking nightmare. Many, 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 many times over. But luckily for me, I don't have to figure out the logistics of this. But I simply just need to give the order for it to be done. Oh god, this is going to be a fucking... This is going to be awful for my supply lines. Right, okay. If there's anything that can be motorized over here... Do it yesterday. God, right on the hot on the heels of the offensive that destroyed the enemy's supply depots as well.
What's up?
I am not convinced this is a wise move, but it is an expedient move. And as Patton once said, a bold plan executed with vigor today is better than a perfect plan executed timidly tomorrow. Or something like that. I am paraphrasing the man to fucking back, but you get the general gist. Go, behemoths. Smush. I fucking love my behemoths. So much. And I have one unit of allied armor, which, Jesus Christ, I want armor of my own. Look how easy it is to just move in and surround their shit. Oh, I wish I had armor. Wish I had armor so fucking bad. It would make everything so much easier if I had armor. All right, boys, follow on, follow on. This is not the time to be lazy. This is the time to be proactive, aggressive, assertive even. We are killing the last few remnants of this San Francisco Brotherhood today. I will hear no arguments. Mr. Bob, hey Arch, have you heard about the recent India-Pakistan conflict? Brief as it was, at this point I'm pretty sure Pakistan is hostile to everyone. Well, of course, they're Pakistan. They're a Muslim nation in a fairly inhospitable area for very good reasons as well. See, the reason, so one of the big reasons, the India-Pakistan conflict is a fascinating one. Because it's probably one of the world's, like, hottest conflicts, everything else being equal, that nobody really knows about. And that, frankly, nobody really cares about either, as very few even know about the conflict, and even fewer know what the conflict is about. So, brief history lesson. It's the British's fault, as per fucking usual. British and their inability to make decent decisions when it comes to maps. That's what caused all of this. As you see, the British were, of course, the overlords of India. Well, Gandhi decided to starve himself for a while, and for some weird fucking reason, this convinced the British to be like, oh my god, this brown person is hungry. We must abandon our empire immediately. There you go, motherfucking San Francisco chapter. I hate you so much. I guarantee you surrender will be a less comfortable alternative to death. I will make it so. But the problem was that India was a multicultural nation, largely because it had been invaded by huge numbers of Muslims earlier in its history. As the Muslims, too, had attempted to create a colonial empire, but they just weren't as good at it as the white people were, so sucks to be them, I suppose.
Hello.
And the Muslims had, of course, enforced their own religion, as they tend to do wherever they go. Meaning that the northern parts of India, where the Muslims had invaded, were very, very Muslim. Very Muslim. Whereas the rest of India was not. This was, of course, a bit of a recipe for good old-fashioned disaster, as the Muslims didn't want to be ruled by the Indians, assuming that the Indians would be, upset after years of oppression, torture, and various horrible things that the Muslims had done to them. A reasonable assumption, frankly. And the Indians sure as fuck did not want to get ruled by the Muslims because, well, they had been the ones getting oppressed like mad for God only knows how many fucking years. So, everyone was at a little bit of an impasse, frankly. The British solution, then, was to do a bit of a vote to see what they could do. The vote was inconclusive, neither party wanted to submit to the other party, so eventually Britain went, okay, fine, fuck it. We'll make two countries. India will be for the largest portion of the Indians, and Pakistan will be for the Muslim portion. There you go. Everybody happy? No. Because you see, both parties were looking at a certain region, the Kashmir region, and going, that's mine. And the other party going, no, the fuck it ain't. And that disagreement has continued until, well, today. With both parties still convinced that that piece of clay is their piece of clay, and both parties still also equally convinced that if they cede so much as an inch of ground to the other party, then that party will ritualistically humiliate them and turn them into slaves. So, yeah. Complicated. Not actually that complicated. Brown people being brown people. What can I say? Well, no, more accurately, brown people being brown people in the vicinity of the British. A recipe for near unavoidable universal disaster. We have a lot to blame the British for. We really do.
Sir.
If they'd just doubled down on their empire, then everything would be fine. But no, they pussied out of it. And handed all of the responsibility over to nations that were not capable of handling that responsibility. Fucking British. They ruined Britain. Unironically, they kinda did. Unironically, they did. The British ruined Britain. They fucking did. They did. You can actually make a very convincing case that the British ruined Britain. That reminds me, capturing these guys actually got me some jet fighters. Look at that. That's pretty fucking cute, actually. I probably only have like 12 of them, but... It's nice to know that somewhere right now out there, there is a Supermutant flying a jet fighter. Somehow. Also, God, I really wish it would just automatically assign surplus aces to, flying units, because manually assigning them is retarded. And there's about 2,000 of them in reserve. Jet fighters. Transformers in disguise. Right, untangling my front lines is becoming a little bit of a nightmare right now. As normally, I like to keep my units somewhat color-coded for, ease of access, but... After years of desperate back-and-forth scrambling from one front line to another... There's very, very little coordination left. Right.
Trick or treat. Can I smell your feet?
I do believe it is probably time... Oh, fuck. I didn't pay attention to you for a moment, and so you did this. God, I missed the little bubbles from Hearts of Iron 3 where there would be bubbles on the side of the screen going like, hey, there's a combat thing going on over here. Because it made it so easy to always know when something was happening somewhere else. You'd have a bubble, you could click on it, and you knew where you were losing or winning at a glance. There was never any confusion. Now, you've got to like manually check on over to things. Otherwise, you will lose portions of your front line without having any idea what's going on. Like, Hearts of Iron 4 is just simply not designed to manage large front lines, which is a bit of a problem, as they designed the game to be larger than previous ones. Paradox. God, I hate Paradox. I just hate everything today. It's pretty normal. Right, before any more portions of my front lines get an opportunity to start collapsing.
Sir.
Let's prepare a nice, big, fat general offensive to just keep the NCR very busy, shall we? Or Chigador, message retracted for $5. What, was it something terrible? Was it something mean? Probably was something mean. But yeah, no, they had a brief little, like, phony war, basically, where they pissed on each other for a few minutes and then stopped, because it's kind of what they do, again. It's sort of, kind of, just the entire Pakistan conflict is just that. The two parties pissing on each other, and then the moment things get serious, they scuttle back to their holes, like a... I don't even know, like some cartoon character. Like fucking Zoidberg in that overrated Futurama movie. Oh, whoop, 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 whoop. That's India-Pakistan conflict in a nutshell. At least in my non-so-humble opinion. Right. Your time for greed? I think it's time for greed. I think it's time we grab a fuckload of territory. Now, remember, 2 lines of advance, and stay a little distance from Lost Bunker Hill. I don't want to antagonize the Brotherhood again. I was upset enough the first time.
Decent meal in weeks.
With NCR numbers falling as rapidly as they are, this should be enough of a holding force, I think.
Hey there.
Right. And as soon as you get through... My beautiful little tank division. Oh god, do I have enough to actually buy one of tank division of my own? God, I want armor so fucking bad. How many manpower? I can afford a tank division. Fuck yes. Fuck yes. Armor. Oshigador asks Sargon about the British ruining Britain. He has said something similar on the Lotus Eaters. I mean, it's true. I know it sounds like a meme, like, oh, foreigners have ruined England, etc. Like, you know, the meme, like, damn foreigners, they've ruined England. It's true, though. The British have unironically ruined Britain. With their wholesale embrasure of goddamn fucking progressivist shit. And hey, I'm not saying it's just the British either. The Europeans have ruined Europe as well. The Germans have ruined Germany. It's actually true. Goddamn Germans, they've ruined Germany. To be fair, though. Like, let's also be honest here. It wouldn't be the first time that the Germans ruined Germany. They do that once every 40, 50 years, so... I don't even think the Germans themselves would necessarily disagree with that assertion. Like, the Germans have ruined Germany. Yeah. Many times. We just can't stop. No, ever since the Prussians invaded. Goddamn Prussians. They've ruined Germany. And again, technically true. But the Germans always keep forgiving them because the Prussians... See, yes, the Prussians ruined Germany. Correct. But the Prussians also humiliated the French. And so the majority of the Germans are like, ah...
Can I smell your feet?
Yes, so we lost 2 world wars, but... Everyone thinks the French are surrender monkeys now. That really is the German way of viewing the world. What is a few lost world wars? We made the French look ridiculous. I sympathize with the position, I really do. Ah, the poor French as well. I kind of do feel bad for the French. I mean, seriously, they were the world leaders in all matters military for like 500 years or something, if not more. I mean, we're basically talking since the foundation of the Holy Roman Empire. More, we're probably talking like 1,000 years or something, where France was the undisputed expert on all matters military. And today, surrender monkeys. History's a funny thing. Good, good. Let none stand before my might. God, air power.
Fire is the answer.
Air power makes everything so much easier. Having the ability to simply bomb your enemies at leisure. It sure does make waging war a much, much better thing.
What's up?
Right. We need to reassert our dominance over here as well, so... Begin pushing in to reclaim lost territory. Sentinel Rex, I can't believe people think India and Pakistan are the same country. One shit in their left hand and eat with the right, while the other shit in their right and eat with the left. Very different. It's true. And also, God, the whole Indian thing has become a complete meme on the internet these days, because you have like the Elon's like visa program thingy that he got mocked for relentlessly, like the Indian visa, and it's like, yeah, how can you be a bigot towards the Indians? Stop being a bigot towards the Indians. And there's the meme of the Indian going like, yeah, how could you be mean to me? And then turns around like, oh no, a lower caste, recoils in fear. Like, realistically, India should be considered the single most bigoted nation on Earth. By quite some margin. And yet, because they are a correct shade of brown, we somehow forget the fact that they have maintained a fucking caste system to this day and age. God help me. It's worse than the progressives defending Muslims. Like, sure, like, everyone's seen the meme of the trans person going like, free Palestine. This is honestly worse. Yes, the Palestinian would toss your ass off a fucking roof for free. But the Indian, like, the Indian literally considers you to be sub-fucking human. God. Ah, what a world we live in. Well, Chickador, I think I would say the Austrians have done more for the current state of Germany than the Prussians. That is true. That is true. The Austrians did have a hand in ruining Germany. Maybe that was the Austrians' vengeance or something. Fucking Germans. They took our empire from us, which they did. Our Habsburg Empire. All because of the Germans. We'll show them. Turns out, Hitler was a Habsburg plant. He was a deep Habsburg agent inserted into the German system in the same way that Lenin was inserted into Russia. You know, I like that theory. That is an enjoyable theory. The Illuminati or something. We're just like, oh god, the Habsburgs. Fuck. Do you have any idea how much time, prestige, and breeding we put into the Habsburgs? And now it's all ruined. Fucking Germans. That would be excellent. I would love it if that was true. Oh, that needs to be like an old history piece of fiction or something. Hitler was a deep Austrian plant. Ah. I love that. God, they still have enough shit to counterattack me, do they? Right, I suspect I'm gonna need to build some airfields. Oh. They've started resorting to using balloons to attack me now. That good. That must mean they're getting pretty low on decent aircraft. Right. Yep, definitely need some air bases. Alright, get to work on a couple more air bases in there. Let's see. Military signing bonus? Fuck yes. Grain solicitation? Fuck yes. Yep. New citizen care package? Yep. Invest in cities? Fuck yes. I have more caps than I can possibly know what to deal with. Spend it. Spend it now. And I've actually got some manpower. How much would it cost me to get... fucking aircraft expensive. Right, get a second Panzer Division then. Fucking aircraft expensive indeed. Alright. I will slowly but surely win back that territory. Alright, that's another nice big win. Another bunch of units destroyed. Sujard, correction, it's a small hat tribe that are ruining Europe. Multiculturalism is almost exclusively pushed by them. Foxhole and curry. Let me add that to the hole. There we go. 40 to Foxhole now. And Mark Shaven, have you seen Soda's Fallout New Vegas animations? I have not. I don't want, like, ever. My interaction with YouTube consists of background music and occasionally stopping by a Lum stream to go like, you did that wrong. And Amalgamite. I stop by her streams too to go like, you're retarded. Rise. One of my favorite pastimes, honestly, bullying people. I realize that it makes me happy. Only partially lying. Right, if we're running out of things to do, build roads.
I have lost.
Build many roads. It will help with supplies, and it will give me people. I enjoy having people, because it means I can throw more dudes at the enemy. Now, the big problem becomes... How the fuck? How the genuine fuck do I overrun all of this? I am tempted to try and form front lines and just give like a general assault order to just start overrunning shit. As I imagine I've probably... Oh god, they've still got so many... How do they still have so many effing tanks? Or, well, actually, I know why. It's because every time I do a surround, I literally just drive the tanks ahead of me. That's why. I literally just drive the armored vehicles ahead of me each and every time. Because I can't capture them because I don't have any fucking tanks of my own. Right, well, we swing up here, I imagine. Cut that off. Cut off Yosemite. That's another, like, 20 companies destroyed.
Hello. Sir. Hey there.
Right. Reorganize the front lines.
Hello. Haven't had a decent meal in weeks. Hey. Hey there. Had a decent meal in weeks. Hello, sir.
Ghouls, plenty of ghouls.
What's up?
Alright, the golden geckos. I'd almost forgotten about you. My allies from up north.
Hello.
Ghouls.
Decent meal in weeks. Sir.
Dectatrons, ghouls.
What's up? Sir.
Ghouls, and geckos. Behemoths. There you are. It is time for you to go north.
Hey there.
I mean, 7 divisions ought to be enough to deal with this. I'd think.
Hey.
Let's make sure.
Sir. Sir.
Dectatrons.
Hello, sir.
Tank.
Sir.
Bike.
Haven't had a decent meal in weeks.
And how we're doing here? Have we reestablished? We have. Good. Did the defenses here ever get finished? Surprised they broke through there, of all places. Right. Prioritize getting that up and running.
Hey. Hey.
I can free up 8 more companies. Right. What do we got? We've got that area covered by air. Excellent. We've got this area covered by air as well. We'll peel off a couple hundred ground attackers to help out. Marksman 17p, Arch, that was the setup for the sequel to the Kingsman movie. Adolf and Lenin are comrades and planted by Illuminati. all dictated fun. Is it? You know, I remember watching the Kingsman movie, but I've forgotten more. Like, the Kingsman movies are really interesting movies, in my opinion. So, if you haven't watched Kingsman, I would heartily recommend doing so. They are a fascinating blend of like like James Bond along with a little bit of Austin Powers spy thriller. They're very, honestly, I have a hard time describing them because on the one hand they're very silly. They're very silly movies, and I honestly feel like the silliness actually does the movies a degree of a disservice, in my opinion, as I kind of have the same view of those movies as I do The Orville. The Orville. The Orville is an excellent show that everybody should watch. That it was intended as a parody on Star Trek, as a humorous parody on Star Trek. But I honestly think that it has good enough plot lines to just be it could just be Star Trek. And in fact, the episodes of The Orville that I enjoyed by far the most were the episode where The Orville was just Star Trek, where it didn't try to be silly, where it didn't try to be funny, where it didn't try to be humorous. It actually just tried to be a Star Trek show, and I really liked those episodes. The Kingsman, I'm kind of in the same boat, where I wish they would have just played it straight, because I feel like the quality of the show is actually such that they would have been plenty able to just make a really, really good James Bond story. And at the same time, though, that is not to say that they're entirely unserious, because they're not. There's really serious scenes in there. The wedding scene at the beginning of the second movie is one of the best and most shocking movie scenes I have ever seen. It's fucking fantastic. It is such a great scene. And it makes you wonder if characters are gonna die. It has brilliant setups. It has you know, in most cases, red herrings are just a terrible device because they're too obvious. Not at all there. They put up like the son of one of the main hero characters. I'm spoiling it. But they put up a character that looks like he's going to be the hero. He looks like the hero. He acts like the hero. He does everything a hero would possibly conceivably do. And he dies. And he dies in the shittest way you can imagine. And it is a fucking gut punch. I love those fucking movies. I fucking love them. Oh, again, like... man, I wish they would have played it straighter. Because I really think they could have gotten away with just playing it straight. I really, really think they could have easily gotten away with it. I think the part of the problem is that we often view certain things as cringe when there is no reason for why it should be cringe. I think the recent Deadpool and Wolverine movie was in fact a brilliant example of this. So Deadpool and Wolverine was, of course, enormous success. Everybody loved the fuck out of it. And it has massive problems. Holy shit, does it have massive problems. Like, Deadpool and Wolverine as a movie has enormous fucking problems. Like, there are parts of Deadpool and Wolverine that I would literally define as everything that is wrong with a multiverse storyline. Like, literally everything that is wrong with a multiverse storyline you see in Deadpool and Wolverine. It's too long, it's too convoluted, you really need too much homework if you want to get the full experience, etc. But it is a movie that takes the supposed silliness of comic books and cartoons and just embraces it full force. It doesn't cringe away like, oh my god, we're a comic book movie. Oh, how awful. No, I want to create serious entertainment. It just embraces it. And I love that about it. I love that about it so much. And Ryan Reynolds has a brilliant line about that in the movie. Even goes like, imagine that, a superhero outfit in a superhero movie. What will become of the world? But yeah, no, the story-wise, holy fuck. Holy fuck. I imagine once our current era of shit has passed and we enter into like a second nostalgia critic era, because the reason why we got content creators like the Nostalgia Critic was because we had been in an era where everything was amazing. All entertainment was great, and everyone was super duper happy. Everyone was thrilled. Everyone was excited, like, oh my god, a new game in my favorite series. It's gonna be so fucking good. And it was so fucking good. And so, people were actually thirsty for the opposite. They actually wanted to have their sense of nostalgia challenged a bit. They wanted to be like, oh yeah, that thing you liked actually wasn't anywhere near as good as you remember. Deadpool and Wolverine is gonna be such perfect fodder for that. My god. Because again, it is. As a movie, oh my god, there are so many problems with it. There's so many fucking problems with it. It's not even funny. But yeah, no, again, the key takeaway is it's probably not as cringe as you think. In fact, if anything, cringe is probably exactly what the audience wants right now. It's what I've been saying about a Superman movie for years now. What people want in a Superman movie is for Superman to be fucking cringe. They want him to be the guy who stops and rescues a kitten out of a tree. They want him to be the gullible hero, the Boy Scout. Because we haven't had that in so long. We've had evil Superman, morally dubious Superman, shades of grey Superman, hard choices Superman. I'm sick of all of those Superman. Sick of all of them. And of course, there will eventually come a time again where we will want those Supermen. There will come a time when the over-the-top comic book movie will be cringe again. But it's not today. It is not today. Yes, yes, yes. The daily tribute to the Ouroboros tribe. Now listen, I have so many fucking caps right now. If I can keep them off my back by paying them, I quite gladly will. Anything broken through here again? No? Nice. Alright, stiffen that up a little bit.
What's up?
Whilst we empty out, or... Oh boy, that's a lot of tanks again. Did I? Yes, I've still got all of this covered by air, so... If they do want to attack me, they are going to pay dearly for it. Anything else I could destroy here? I could try to move up there through Shady Sands, but no, that would be a ridiculously long front line and probably therefore deeply unadvisable. Instead, let's focus in on crushing this here. There, break them apart, my little darlings. Break them all. Leave none alive. My little behemoths. My little behemoths. Speaking of my little behemoths, apparently, Hasbro is finally doing something with My Little Pony again. News out of nowhere, I know, but friend Boog was like, look, Hasbro is gonna do a thing with MLP again after letting the entire thing just kind of rot for a few decades. Intriguing thing. I genuinely think we are probably headed towards a period of, I don't know if I would say reboots necessarily, but reimaginings. I think as various industries will realize that embracing things and cringing a little bit is actually a good thing for their bottom line, we're going to see a lot of companies essentially look back at their catalog and their history and think to themselves, okay, why did this work? Why was this successful back then? And could this be successful today? And 9 times out of 10, the answer to that question is, could this be successful today? Yes, yes. In fact, not only could it be successful today, it would probably be a runaway success today in today's climate and entertainment. Are you crushing them? Are you crushing them like good little boys? You are, more or less. And so they're going to start trying to recreate a lot of this stuff. They're probably going to do something like Batman the Animated Series and try to recreate that. In fact, I think to some extent they've already sort of... fuck, I didn't get to capture any of those. Well, I caught some retreating units and something, I suppose. I think to an extent they've already sort of tried, but without actually realizing what was popular about the thing to begin with. I think Caped Crusader was that in a lot of ways. Where Caped Crusader was clearly like, oh, we're gonna make like a 1980s Batman. That'd be really cool. Like, you want old school Batman, right? That's what you want, right? Well, we're gonna give you that. Oh, awesome. Well, I'm there for it. And what do they give us? They give us 1980s girl boss Batman, where Batman is barely even a side character. He's barely even an accompaniment to the real heroes, which is Barbara Gordon and Renee Montoya. Like, okay. Well, you understood parts of the assignment, but not the important parts, as it turns out. Wonderful. Another pocket closed. I would really like to kill off some of these godforsaken tanks. Could kill some of these tanks, I'd feel a lot safer about beginning to waffle forward en masse. That is rather expensive, but I ain't got nothing else to spend my money on. Sophisticated infantry tech is pretty fucking amazing, so I wanna kill the fucking tanks. Really hate tanks. How are my tanks doing? Barely a quarter through training. Right. It's going to be a while. Start researching combat blimps. If in doubt, build combat blimps. It is the wisdom of the ages. Right, you are simply going to head straight for Santa Barbara. It is a deep penetration. Conceivably too deep, I admit. But I want to give those damn tanks as little warning about what it is I am intending as humanly possible.
Hello.
Hoping that some of them will stay behind and die horribly.
That had a decent meal in weeks.
Once that is done, I think we can actually finally consider a general offensive. Really start dislodging the little shits. Air power. You know, we need a Latin for, like, Deus Vult, but air power. Air power wills it. Behemoths, you always keep getting broken when you attack something like that. It's very upsetting. Deus, air power. Before which all other forms of power are impotent and pointless. They're already relocating to try and get in my way, the little fucks. Keep moving. Get ahead of the tanks. Start attacking. Deny them organization. This is going to be a precarious penetration. Precarious penetrations must be managed with a degree of subtlety. A degree of finesse.
Hello, sir.
At least they suddenly and irrecoverably collapse.
Sir.
Advance. There we go. Perfect. That's a nice number of tanks that I will not have to deal with anymore. Excellent. Yes, 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 yes.
Hello.
Now, where is your armor, NCR? right? It's all trapped and about to be destroyed. I wonder how many tanks I've just got salted away in my inventories at this point. 2,100 pieces of tanks. Okay, right. Well, if I ever get the manpower to build armored vehicles, I'm not going to have any shortages. Yes, yes, piles of scrap. Tourism season, because in the midst of this apocalyptic war between superhumans and the largest human nation on Earth, there's still tourism to be had. Considering that the majority of the tourists are from the NCR, how do you think... How does that even work? It's like, yes, I know we're in an all-out war against one another, and the Supermutants are literally eating people, but... You know, you still need a vacation, so... You pop... It feels like Palestinians vacationing in Israel at that point. I don't know. It feels dubious to me. Ah, riot control gear. Right, I need to update that. Riot control gear. Keep producing pulse energy weapons. Good. Good, 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 good. For the first time in, I think, forever, I have numerical superiority.
Sir. Hey,
I like that. I like that quite a lot.
haven't had a decent meal in weeks.
Right. Let's then... try to get some front lines organized. Those guys. That should be enough to hold the two exposed areas.
Hello, sir.
And then the rest of the army can simply barrel forward, overrunning and destroying as they go. Tempted to deploy the tanks untrained, just to add to the stampede. Probably not actually the worst idea in the world. Ah, right. There you go. Digital encryption. That's worth picking up.
Hello.
Strategic redeployment, you lazy little sacks. Seeing as there are no trains in this world, or at least very few, not sure how strategic redeployment really works, but right, let's make sure this is all nicely held.
Haven't had a decent meal in weeks.
Auxiliaries, surely you can hold the
Hey there.
forts down here, I'd imagine. I've got quite a lot of defenses.
Hello, sir.
Right, that will fall to my second in command.
Sir.
let's move the Ghoul army under Chief Thrad the Immortal. Oh, goddammit. You're retarded enough to do it like that, are you? You are. You are actually retarded enough to do that. Ugh. I hate the frontline system. I hate the frontline system. I hate the frontline system. It's right. Fine. Right. You. I'd massively prefer it if I could just put it under the overall commander instead of doing it like this, but we're gonna do it the hard way.
Haven't had a decent meal in weeks.
Right, and well, we're just gonna go for the river, aren't we? Yes. Yes, I think we are. We are just gonna go for the river and the dam.
Hello, sir.
Because if I make it there, either the NCR will surrender, which would be the preferable option, or they'll be stuck on the other side of a damn near impossible natural predicament. And you guys, well, you're gonna go all the way down there. Just sweep it underneath your robotic might. And the ghouls, you're gonna take the northern part of the river. There should be more than enough air support for you as well. Right, it'll probably be easier to hand out units now, won't it? You may have ground attackers. You may have fighters. Let's bring you all back here so I can organize you decently. This way. Because at this point, I don't think individual surrounds are going to be as useful anymore. I need to be sweeping them. I need to get rid of their manufacturing base. I need to capture the places where they are recruiting from. And end this god-awful war before they somehow manage to recruit another 50 companies. There will be casualties. There will be many casualties. Countless civilians will be eaten. And, well, let's just say that the military personnel that decides to stand in the way of the Supermutant hordes are going to suffer a lot worse than anyone ever thought was conceivably possible. But that is just how it's gonna have to be. Now, I just hope that they don't start eating through my manpower when I do this. As obviously now all of my units are gonna start doing their crazy, weird-ass relocations. Leave me vulnerable for a period of time until everything is back in place. Come on, boys, strategic redeploy. You don't have all day.
I have
Fucking
lost.
tanks. I hate tanks. See, their manpower is, yeah, no, they're beginning to run out of shit. They are actually genuinely beginning to run out of shit. Running out of weapons, running out of supplies. Which is going to make them a lot weaker. All right, boys, you may proceed. Why are you attacking with one unit of robots when there's 20 more right behind you? Sillies. Now, I also dearly hope, of course, that the Brotherhood doesn't declare war on me. And that too would be damnably upsetting. Right. And we can carry out an attack here as well. So far, the Brotherhood of Steel has been surprisingly quiescent about this entire state of affair. As I think something like 10,000 Supermutants just walk past their home. The Brotherhood is just sitting in their bunkers like, wow. Holy shit. I sure am glad we're not involved in this war. Which, to be fair, makes a lot of sense.
Hello, sir.
Can you imagine, Brother Paladin? If all of those were headed in our direction. Now, there's about, like, I think there's 200 mutant behemoths in each one of my mutant hordes. Which means that the behemoth hordes in total are a total of 2,500 behemoths. That is rather horrifying to think about. 2,500 fucking behemoths heading your way. There really isn't a lot of stopping that, is there? Vanemir, Polish president election round 2 is coming. Poland has elections. A generic Euro-liberal with likely illegal foreign media backing, or a dude with a really shady past taking drugs on air. What a shit show. Taking drugs on air. That does sound mildly retarded, I admit. Power armor. I like the idea of power armor, but I somehow doubt the power armor is going to be better than my 2,500 behemoths, so I probably don't need it. Probably don't need it. And then Junktown fell to the invading hordes.
Sir.
A handful of men, women, and children within its walls that weren't immediately eaten by the victorious invaders soon wished that they had been, as they saw the fates that awaited all those who had the sheer ridiculous audacity to resist the new master's glorious armies. The sin of resistance is a heavy one. A heavy price to be paid by all human beings. As centuries of racist oppressions of supermutants will be revenged. In the immortal words of Field Commander Zhulka during the Second World War, Russian soldier, revenge yourself. No, you're not running away. There shall be absolutely no leaving. Absolutely no leaving. You started this war, and I intend to fucking finish it. Right, the front lines are getting a pinch long.
Hello, sir.
And I could use some more air forces to really hammer home the advantage here. I can not really afford it, no. Not really, no. 500 manpower per is... it's a lot for a bunch of aircraft. Although, considering how effective they are. Yes. Yes. Deploy the assault balloons. Hero reporting. God, we need a remaster of that game so fucking bad. It is absurd that we haven't. The fall of Shady Sands. Following days of bloody skirmishing, the government of the NCR has today confirmed that their beloved capital, Shady Sands, has fallen into the hands of the Chimeran Consensus. Capture of the city comes despite fierce resistance from NCR Rangers and the town's militias, although precise information on the battle for Shady Sands is very sparse. As a shocked shady citizen looks on, Shady Sands itself appears to have been heavily damaged. Only a small portion of the buildings remain standing, including the Hall of Congress, from which the flags of the Chimerian Consultant now fly. And the lesson of today is, don't start wars you can't win. A very, very, very valuable lesson. Far too few people throughout history have learned.
Hey.
Including, but not limited to, certain Austrians and their descendants. Although I'm seeing the bikes are being annoying, as per usual. Hey, you. Go deal with silly bikes being silly. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, look at that. The sheer quantity of casualties they're suffering means that they can't really reinforce anymore, which is pretty beautiful. Ah, it's a glorious vision. Speaking of, so, on the topic of ponies, which we were briefly touching upon previously, Hasbro is one of those interesting corporations that should, by all rights, understand more so than virtually any other company that their glory is something they've already had, and that all they really need to do to regain it is to literally just go back. On the topic of recreating entertainment. And yet, it's probably also amusingly going to be one of the companies that will fight doing it the most, simply because they really kind of hate the success of the entire thing. It's kind of a Superman situation again, where in the case of the ponies, Hasbro, the company, really fucking hates the woman who made them popular, Lauren Faust, I think, and don't want to give her any more money, and so they don't want to go back to the popular ponies. In the same vein, that despite DC having their Superman, having the Superman that all of the fans want, Henry Cavill, still refuse to give the fans that, not because they think he'll make a poor Superman, but because they're annoyed that he was too good of a Superman. Corporate ego. The worst enemy of anyone intending to make money in entertainment. Right, now, without allowing any more of those silly bike things, why are you not just taking this? It's literally unguarded. Just take it, you silly willies. Before allowing any more silly fucking bikes to get behind me and upset me. I moved too quick, didn't I? I'm gonna let that tank escape, aren't I? Nope. Beautiful. Right, so that frees up the makeshift battalion. My god, these ghouls are actually somehow managing to get themselves surrounded. They outnumber the enemy about 55 to 1, and yet they've somehow managed to get themselves completely cut off. I'm genuinely and deeply impressed by their dedication to incompetence. Listen here, you fucking retarded shits. All you need to do is walk over the bad guys. Have the numbers, have the weapons, even have the strategy and orders to do so. All you have to do is do it. There. Going bikes. And it's the... Okay, so Chris Hemsworth is a similar tale. Because I saw a lot of talks about on social media the other day that Chris Hemsworth put out a little YouTube video thing where he basically goes like, it was really fun being Thor. Thank you to all the fans who supported me being Thor. It was fucking awesome. You know, thank you all. Which is a cool thing for him to do, of course, thanking the fans for giving him this big break in his career. A lot of people were then like, hold on, why is he saying this? It's because he's gonna die. He's dead. Not him, but Thor is gonna die. And you know what? Good. Good. We need Thor to die because the Marvel Cinematic Universe always fucking hated him. God, I hated the Thor movies. I really despised the Thor movies. Because you'd think I'd be the biggest fan, right? Oh, Thor, Norse mythology, awesome stuff. And yes, I would be, if it weren't for the fact that in every single fucking Thor movie, he is treated as just a joke. Just a fucking joke character. In his own movies, every fucking time. He is humiliated, he is shat on, he is beaten, defeated. eventually ran out of his home, etc. And majoratively by just random women. And at the end of the day, even when Odin is dead, what does Thor do? What does the son of Odin do when his father dies? He looks over at a woman he's known for all of 5 fucking minutes and goes, "Wanna be king?" Fuck, I hate the Thor movies. Fuck, I hate the Thor movies. The same woman who sold him into slavery, incidentally, but let's not dwell on that, I suppose. God, I don't know if it was just because they hated Thor or because they hated Chris Hemsworth. I don't know. But they surely hated someone in that equation. Silly AI. Forward, silly AI. Forward.
Sir.
All your stupid front lines have gotten all tangled up, haven't they? There, let me manually close these silly little pockets for you. Silly little pockets that you should have been closing all on your very own.
Trick or treat. Can I sit on your feet?
Hello.
Sometimes the AI attacks too much and kills all of its troops. Sometimes the AI will literally stand there as there is nothing in front of it and just chill. I'm genuinely impressed by Paradox's ability to code AIs. It's a marvel of engineering, and no doubt about it. Right. The front line has gotten so retarded now, I don't actually know entirely how to untangle it. Well, ghouls. First and foremost... Is that a dinosaur? That's a dinosaur. I was not aware there was a dinosaur there. I am now, but... Up until this point, I had no idea there was a dinosaur there. Huh. What an odd place to put a dinosaur. Right, how are we doing here? Are we at the river? We are at the river.
Hey.
Good.
Had a decent meal in weeks.
Don't just stand there. Forward. I'm a little surprised that the NCR isn't surrendering yet. This seems like the kind of situation in which all hope is most decidedly lost.
Hello, sir.
Crash. Random groupings of things.
Had a decent meal in weeks.
Under the eternally watchful eyes of air power. Poor bastards don't even have guns anymore. I do love how my neighbors are still extorting me for money. They're seeing what's happening to the NCR, and they're still thinking, we could probably get away with asking for some cash. Mr. Personality, straight white male and royalty. So bad. That's true. Which is why they gave a black woman the throne of Asgard. Can you imagine going back in time and explaining that to the comic book fans of the day?
Hello, sir.
Like, no. In the future, we're gonna have an entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, there's gonna be loads of movies. There's gonna be Iron Man movies. There's gonna be Thor movies. And they're gonna be so excited, like, oh my god, really? That sounds incredible, yeah! Like, in one movie, Thor gives his hammer to some random chick he banged once, and now she's Thor. Huh? Yeah. And then, Asgard is destroyed, and Odin is killed, and so Thor gives the throne of Asgard to a black woman he met whilst he was being enslaved.
Hello, sir.
Oh, incidentally, the black woman was the one who enslaved him too, by the way. God, it would have sounded like such a fucking acid trip. Oh, God. I am actually shocked and surprised that I am increasing in manpower. I was expecting to look up right now and see -0 manpower, as I'm conquering so much territory, which means that I have to occupy and guard so much territory. The mighty mechanical Colorado technocrat has declared war on the glowbugs. Good for it. Right, so NCR. The NCR Chimeran War is indeed... it's leaning in the direction of the defenders. Yes, I'd say so. 354,000 casualties. I like it. I like it a great deal. I like it a great deal indeed.
I've had a decent meal in weeks.
Right, Supermutants. I don't know how much more I need to capture, but whatever it is, go capture it. There can't conceivably be that much in the way of defense left at this point. Big boys, you just, clean the coast in case there's anything left. I wonder how Europa Universalis 5 is going to be. That's getting kind of close now, isn't it? Ah. They're next to Glowbugs. There we are. The new Californian Republic. Right. Well, I'm taking all of you. And I'm taking the San Francisco chapter. Actually, would it be more fun to puppet? Oh, look at all of my puppets! Oh my god, I can have loads of cute little puppets. Oh my god, look at all of the cute little puppets I can have. Look at them all. Well, we're definitely satelliting the Kaiser's Legion, obviously. I want the Kaiser as my little pet Kaiser. My little Kaiser. My little Kaiser. I like that. Yes, my little Kaiser. Ah, Santa Ana. Yes. Definitely puppet Santa Ana. Satellite the boomers? Yes, I like the idea of having the boomers under my control as well. Elko Posse. Petro Chico, yes! Yes, I want Petro Chico. Puppet San Francisco chapter. Yes. Then again, there's going to be nobody left alive down there. Let's puppet them anyways. The Duchies of the Viceroyalty. I like that. Repubblica Social will not be puppeted. Fuck them. Fusang. No, I need the coastline. The free folk. Nope. New Vegas? Yeah, there's a lot of dudes there I kind of want. The Tohono Nation. Satellite. Rapids. Mojave? No, there shall not be even a trace of the bear left. Chichen Itza, that would be... Yeah, I don't really want to handle that territory, so if I can satellite that... That sounds lovely. Not satelliting the fucking luchadores. I hate the luchadores. Many pretty little satellites. I will take your navy, sir. It shall be my navy now. And the rest I shall squat upon and use to boost my manpower. $19,029. And suddenly my manpower problems disappeared. Ah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Never again need I worry about manpower. Never again. I can now buy as many fucking aircraft and tanks and dudes as I ever wanted. And I've even got all kinds of pretty little silly allies down here as well. Look at that. I have friends. I have countless silly little friends. Like this guy. Look at him. He's just a robot. This is entirely normal. A supermutant from the north just comes down, points at a random dude with a hat. You're the boss here now. There he is, mein Kaiser Wilhelm. Back from the dead, at long last. Ah, mein Kaiser, you have been gone too long. Mein beautiful, beautiful Kaiser.
Haven't had a decent meal in weeks.
Just in case Ouroboros decides that they're gonna start raiding my fucking borders again.
Hey.
Oh, and look at that. My 2 armor divisions. Just in time to not participate in the war whatsoever. Fucking brilliant. Absolutely fucking brilliant. I have a navy now. Where's the Supermutant Navy? I wish to expect the Supermutant Navy. There we are. Oh, why the holy shit, why? 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 I have a navy and it's all located in one small pond. Fan-fucking-tastic. The Supermutants got their navy. And as a part of the agreement, they carried all of the NCR warships from the coast all the way inland, over the Rocky Mountains, into the middle of the wasteland, and they deposited them in the Great Salt Lake. Well, I need never worry about losing naval supremacy in the Great Salt Lakes, at least. That's something. It may not be a lot of something, but it is something. I can only imagine their stupid little mutant faces when they're ordered to carry them back again. What do you mean, carry them back, boss? Have any idea how many months it took us to carry them here? What do you mean, put them back? I can just envision the pleased expression on the face of this super mutant who's just coming up to his boss and reporting, "Boss, we're done. We carried all 100 of the warships all the way over to Salt Lake." Looking very, very pleased with himself as he does so. God. It's the Austrian Navy all over again. I think, what was it? Like, was it Switzerland? Or something? There was some stupid little landlocked nation that had a navy. That was like 2 boats in a pond. That was their navy. I think it was Austria. Alright, well. There you go. The NCR is dead. Very, very dead. I now have more manpower than I could ever conceivably know what to do with. Heavy battle barge. And most of the map is allied with me in one way or another. Even if I somehow doubt the loyalties of quite a few of my new friends. Ah, the Prussian Confederation. That is a good name. The American Rhine, recovering from terrible Tuesday. The Russian Confederation. Oh, I like that. That is cute. That is just adorable. That is just adorable. Right, well. Wasteland pacification, boys. We may have won the wasteland, but now we must declare war on the wasteland so as to make sure that we can hold the wasteland. There will be plenty of horrible warfare left to come for the Chimerian consultant. How many factories do I have now? 200. Right. How many building factories? Many. America will be rebuilt, chat. Under the watchful gaze of supermutant kind. I'm a little sad that I never got to build the Navy. I'm a little sad that I never got to build a fucking Navy. That upsets me somewhat. I would have liked to have built a Navy. Alright, I put a woman in charge. And a hottie, too. Brilliant. I would have liked to have had a Navy. I always wanted to have a Navy. And now I do. Just nowhere particularly useful. Maybe this was Thrag's intent all along. He just wanted to sequester the Navy in his little personal pond so that he can live in Park Valley in his mansion, overlooking the port. And every morning he goes out to play with his boats in the salt pond. You know, that is a decided possibility. He's happy now. Oh, hey. Are you still alive? Right. Where's Doki Doki? Where is Doki Doki? There's Doki Doki. The mighty mechanical Colorado technocracy. Doki Doki is still alive. This is a nation ruled over by a computer that's addicted to Japanese dating sims, by the way, in case you were wondering. Which is entirely normal. Aww. My chain choir friends died. That's a bit sad. But I think we can declare that campaign to be solidly won, as with my current manpower income, how many aircraft could I deploy at this point? Let's see. I have 266 fighters, 1,565 ground attackers, and 400 strategic bombers, yes. If I declare war on anything now, I can literally go full America and just bomb them all back to the Stone Age. The Master has returned. And this time he will not be thwarted by some silly little wall dweller. Beautiful. A satisfying end to what was honestly a pretty fucking tough campaign. New Reno is not easy. But it is fun, and it lets you get a lot of research and a lot of stuff and a lot of cool units. So you get to play with air power, you get to play with tanks and energy weapons and all kinds of cool mechanics. I'm just sad that they don't get to play with the Navy at all. That is the one thing I regret. I would have liked to have a Navy. You know, I think we're gonna do a little bit of Terra Invicta again. I've been jonesing for a little bit of Terra Invicta recently. Yes. And then we'll do Nightmare Moon thereafter. And then the Enclave. Until next time, chat. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your generous donations, as always. And I will see you all again. Possibly tomorrow. Maybe not. We'll see. But definitely on Saturday, as we've got the ArchCast again. Till then, chat. Have a good night.